Hi everyone, this is Elena and welcome back to another episode here on the Immigration People's channel. And as you can see, I'm not at our usual setting because I'm here at the brand new outlet of ATA Medical at Camden Medical Centre. ATA Medical has been a long-term standing medical partner of the Immigration People. And if you're wondering who is this gentleman that I have next to me, he is Dr. Leonard, who is our guest of today.
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Dr. Leonard Leng. I'm a general practitioner, or also known as a family physician here in Singapore, and I've been working as a doctor here in Singapore for about 10 years. So what many people may not know about general practitioners is that we are not just doctors who treat cough and cold conditions, but we actually have a wide variety of clinical interests. So for myself, I'm interested in lifestyle medicine, which is a discipline where we actually encourage and empower our patients to institute lifestyle changes in their daily habits so that we can actually help them to prevent or even treat some of the chronic diseases. So yes, here is our newest branch in Orchard. This is the heart of Singapore where all the hustle and bustle happens, and we have a whole suite of facilities here. But more importantly, we also want to talk about mandatory medical examinations for foreigners here in Singapore.
That's right. And if you're a newly minted work pass holder or Singapore PR and you're in the midst of completing your formalities mandated by the Immigration Checkpoints Authority or the Ministry of Manpower, today's episode is going to save you a lot of time and hassle Googling by yourself.
That's right.
Now let's start straight off with the most commonly asked question. What are the medical checkup requirements for new work pass holders in Singapore?
Okay, so for new work pass holders, the medical examination is pretty comprehensive. It requires a full medical examination, including visual acuity, blood pressure, checking the blood test for HIV, for malaria, for syphilis, and also some urine tests as well. So it is a pretty comprehensive kind of a medical examination that's required. But you don't have to worry about remembering all these tests, right? Because these are all in the list of a standardized form, and we have loads of experience helping foreigners who are coming in to complete all these tests on time.
I see. So let's say if a foreigner calls your clinic up and asks, I just got my employment pass, I need to do medical checkup. Can you guys do it for me?
Yes.
And so they just need to bring down the form and you will perform all the necessary checks.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we do this routinely on a daily basis just based on the form, and we have a whole series of tests that we can perform right here in the clinic, and we can actually churn out the results very quickly for the patient. Yeah.
Great. And as you know, there are many different types of work passes in Singapore, from work permit to S-Pass, employment pass. Are there any difference in terms of the checkups required for these different categories of work passes?
So for the work pass category, most of the medical examinations are pretty much similar, all right? But for other kinds of examinations, like for permanent residents and all that, there are different set of tests as well, which is actually usually fewer number of tests compared to a work permit. Yeah.
I see. So what are some of the medical checkup or the tests required for new PRs in Singapore?
Yeah, so for new PRs, we actually only need HIV test and a chest x-ray. So it's pretty simple. Yeah.
And usually how long does these reports get churned out? And how long is the process actually? So if they show up for their medical checkup, how long do they take? Do they need to take to complete the test? And how long do they need before they can get the medical report?
Yeah, so usually the entire process of taking the blood test as well as the x-ray shouldn't take more than 30 minutes in the clinic.
Okay.
All right, and the report can be churned out within 48 hours. But of course, we do have some urgent requests at some times, and we are more than happy to accommodate these requests. Our staff work really hard round the clock to churn out these requests at the request of the patient. Yeah.
I see. Do you guys get asked in terms of the pricing, like, how much do you guys cost? And do people usually compare about the cost of these medical checkups?
Yes, I mean, definitely people want to know about the cost. So the prices of these tests that generally cost between $70 to about $100 in Singapore. So in our clinic, our prices are priced competitively, and also for clients of TIP, I mean, you get to enjoy a discount as well. Yeah.
Yes, we actually always recommend our clients who got approval for their PRs especially to visit ATA Medical, because for our office we're located at Tanjong Pagar International Plaza, and ATA Medical actually has 2 outlets. So apart from the Camden Medical Centre, they also have one more at Tanjong Pagar, which is just about 5 to 7 minutes walk from our office. So it's actually very convenient for our clients. There's also this thing that's required of new work pass and long-term pass holders, which is to update their COVID-19 vaccination status at the Singapore Immunisation Registry.
Yep.
So do you guys help with that as well?
Yes, we definitely do that. So all we need is actually documentation that proves that you had completed the series of COVID vaccinations. And just with that documentation, we verify that we can actually upload it onto the national health records, and it will be done pretty quickly.
Usually, how long does it take for it to be updated?
So we can do it within 1 working day, but again, of course, if it needs to be expedited for whatever reason, we are more than happy to help our clients with that as well.
Now, if someone has their own vaccination records and they want to upload on NIR themselves, are they able to do it?
Okay, unfortunately, that will not be possible. We actually need a medical professional or a doctor to verify these records, and the clinic has to be the one to upload these records on their behalf. Yeah.
And what are the minimum requirements mandated by the Ministry of Health?
Yep, so for the mRNA vaccines like Pfizer or Moderna, you actually need at least 3 doses. Right, of course, there are many other vaccinations out there from various countries, so if you need further clarification on that, you can feel free to approach our clinic and we are more than happy to help you with that.
Now, Dr. Leonard, you mentioned that you have been a GP for 10 years. So what are some of the more commonly asked questions or concerns by your foreigner patients?
Yep, so we definitely see a lot of patients, and particularly from our expatriate clients. Some of them ask about adapting to Singapore. Our weather is very hot and humid here. Some of them get rashes, some of them get allergies. We also have patients who face a lot of stress. Singapore is a very stressful society, and some of them they're finding it difficult to cope with work. I also recently had a patient who actually told me he put on 10 kilograms from coming to Singapore because he loves our food so much. So a word of caution, Singapore is a food haven, so don't get too carried away with all the food, yeah?
Earlier on, we were talking about medical examinations for new work pass or PRs. So have you come across patients who failed their mandatory health checkups?
Yes, I mean, we've definitely come across such cases. So some cases include, for example, newly diagnosed diabetes or high blood pressure, or even syphilis, which has been gone undiagnosed in their home country. And when they come here to do the test, they actually find out that this is the first time they actually found treatment for it or found the diagnosis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And usually how do you convey the results to them?
I mean, if it's something that is pretty common, like for example, diabetes or blood pressure, most of them are quite accepting of the diagnosis, but of course we do counsel them about it. And once we start them on some treatment, we actually control these conditions or we treat these conditions, we can actually certify them to be fit to continue to work in Singapore actually.
Now, it's actually pretty common for foreigners, especially from our neighboring countries, to come to Singapore because of our good healthcare system. So is there anything that new immigrants or foreigners should take note of when they come to Singapore for their health checkups?
Yes, so in Singapore generally we have 2 main groups of healthcare providers. One main group will be the public healthcare sector, which is basically funded by the government, and then of course the private healthcare sector as well. But regardless of whichever sector you're in, you can be very assured that you'll be well taken care of because we have the top of the range facilities, top of the range technologies. All our clinicians, many of them are world experts, and people come here for surgeries or second opinions on many of their conditions actually. Yeah, so for new immigrants, when you come to Singapore, you can actually tap on private insurers to cover for some of your medical needs. But when you move on to become a permanent resident or even a Singapore citizen, you can actually tap on government subsidies for many of these things, such as health screenings, specialist visits, or even hospitalizations. So it's very amazing. You can actually enjoy world-class facilities at a discount. So who doesn't like discounts, right?
So a lot of our clients, especially those who receive the in-principle approval for their Singapore PR, goes to ATA Medical for their health screening. And their feedback is that ATA Medical has been very efficient, prompt, and they are able to secure an appointment very quickly and get their report out very quickly as well. So thanks to ATA Medical for being so efficient and prompt.
Yes, so apart from having a high level of service, we also provide a wide range of medical services. So actually many of the TIP clients, after doing the basic screening, they do return to us subsequently as well for more comprehensive screenings, such as full body checkups, scans that they require for cancer screening, for example, or even allergy testing. Or some of them even have chronic diseases that they already have when they're in their home countries and they want to follow up with us. So we are more than happy to help them with all of these services, and we are a very comprehensive medical clinic.
And that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much, Dr. Leonard, for taking the time to do this interview with us. I think even I picked up a few things about things I didn't know before today.
My pleasure. So if you have any questions about immigration, about health screening for the mandatory requirements by the government of Singapore, feel free to leave your comments below. Or if you have any questions also about immigration in general as well, feel free to reach out to us by typing your comments below.
And don't forget, as clients of the Immigration People, you get to enjoy special discount with Dr. Leonard and his team at ATA Medical. And if you have found today's episode's content to be useful, please don't forget to like and share with your friends and hit on the subscribe button so you don't miss out on our weekly episodes. And I'll see you in the next one.